If buying your first car feels confusing, overwhelming, or like everyone else knows something you don't, you're not behind, and you're not bad with money. The system just isn't designed for first-time buyers, and today, I'll help you understand it calmly and clearly. What most people don't realize is that first-time car buyers are making decisions in an environment full of pressure, unfamiliar language, and emotional triggers. Dealerships assume you have experience. Financing discussions assume you feel confident. And the advice you find online often skips the most basic, fundamental parts of the process. You're trying to make a huge financial decision without any real points of reference, and the information you're getting is almost always from someone trying to sell you something. This imbalance of information puts all the power in their hands. It also makes it incredibly easy to make a decision based on emotion rather than logic. What worked for your parents, or what sounds normal from your friends, doesn't always work for you. And that's completely normal. That's one mistake most first-time buyers make before they even step into a dealership, and it quietly costs them more than anything else. I'll break that down fully in the next video, but for now, let's focus on what happens once the shopping process starts. The single biggest mistake I see is rushing the buying timeline. Let's break that down. First, let's talk about the weeks before you even start looking. Most first-time buyers start shopping only when they urgently need a car. Maybe their old one broke down, or they have a new job starting next week. But urgency completely removes your leverage. When you're in a rush, you have no power to walk away. After your first few test drives, every offer starts to feel good enough simply because you need a solution, and you need it now. The goal isn't speed, it's optionality. It's having the freedom to choose, not being forced into a corner. This isn't about being perfect. It's about giving yourself breathing room. And this affects more than just the price. Next, let's look at the day of the shopping trip itself. A common mistake is trying to do everything in one single visit: test driving, negotiating, financing, and signing the papers. But your brain can't do all of that at once. You're processing numbers, managing your emotions, and dealing with social pressure all at the same time. It's a recipe for burnout and bad decisions. Think of it this way: one visit is for learning. A separate visit is for deciding. Walking away doesn't mean you lose the deal, it protects you and gives you the space to think clearly. This becomes especially important when financing enters the picture. Finally, let's talk about that final hour at the dealership. So many first-time buyers agree to a deal simply because they're tired. They've been there for hours, they're hungry, and they just want it to be over. But mental fatigue leads directly to compliance. You're more likely to agree to things you don't fully understand, like extended warranties or add-ons you don't need. No decision made while you're exhausted is ever a good financial decision. You are always allowed to pause, even at the very last moment, and say, "I need to think about this overnight." This is where most regret starts, in that final, fatigued hour. This is exactly why the next video matters so much. It addresses the single most important decision most people make before all of this even begins. But there's another silent trigger we need to talk about right now, and it's called emotional justification. This is a subtle mistake because it feels logical in the moment. You tell yourself things like, "I work hard, I deserve this," or "This is a great deal, I don't want to miss out." This way of thinking works just fine for small purchases, like a new pair of shoes or a nice dinner out. You get a little dopamine hit, and there are no long-term consequences. But it fails completely when you're taking on long-term debt for a depreciating asset like a car. No one explains this clearly, but that feeling of deserving it can lead you to overspend by thousands. This surprises most first-time buyers. Instead of justifying with emotion, the best thing you can do is pause and look at the numbers first. Does this fit your budget comfortably, not just for the monthly payment, but for insurance, gas, and maintenance too? What I see repeatedly is this: the buyers who feel confident and happy months after their purchase aren't the ones who negotiated the hardest. They're the ones who slowed down. They took their time, they separated the learning from the deciding, and they never made a choice under pressure. The biggest shift isn't about doing more research. It's about removing the pressure from the entire process. So, let's quickly summarize with 3 gentle reminders. First, you do not need to rush this process. Second, you are always allowed to leave the dealership to think. And third, confidence comes from clarity and having options, not from speed. And this sets you up perfectly for what comes next. If this helped you feel more calm and in control, the next video is for you. It explains the one mistake most first-time buyers make before their shopping even starts. It's linked right here on the screen, and it connects directly to everything you just learned about slowing down and removing pressure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.